This is going to be a new revolution in the history of video editing, rising of a new era that's going to change everything, starting a new legacy of editing. Old style is gone, this presenting masterpiece in every single second. An inspiration to show your idea into an insane visual that's never beatable ever.
Alright, in the edit page of Davinci Resolve, I'm going to create a new timeline. Just uncheck project settings. Use vertical resolution, make that 30 frames per second and create that. I'm just going to drag and drop our clip into the edit page. To create this white background, I'm going to go to effects and go to generators, and you see here solid color. I'm going to drag and drop a solid color into my timeline. Make that solid color same, maybe allow that length. Come to the inspector and change the solid color from black to white. Cool, I think that's better. I'm just going to disable that, go back to effects and drag and drop a fusion composition into my timeline. We're going to end somewhere around here where it is 3D, so you can get your fusion composition. We're going to find out to around here. So let's open this fusion composition in the fusion page. In the fusion page, we have this one. I'm just going to get a background node, connect the background node to this one. Let's go. Shift space as always, media in. I always like to look at what I'm doing. Now it won't show anything, so change it from timeline to background. You have this one. Now get a background node. Let's go to, I always like to go to where it is, everything is in place so that I can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm just going to get all of these in place, and I'm going to show you the setting of the text. I might explain a few things, but if I want to do it, it's going to take a lot of time. So I just want to go to where everything is fully in place, which is maybe frame 50, and I'm going to get all of this text, and then we're going to start our animation from there. So let me just quickly get all of this text. Make sure you turn on the guides. The font we are going to use throughout this animation is Helvetica, just different version of Helvetica. Alright, so now I'm done with placing all of this text. Next thing I want to do is create this rectangle. So I'm going to get a background node, get a rectangle mask, connect this one here. I'm just going to make sure I size the rectangle from here, bring it somewhere around there, and somewhere around there. Now I just need to take the corner ridges somewhere around there. Yes, I'm going to connect this here. Go to the background and make the background color this blue color. Good, I think we have the exact thing. All right, the next thing you want to do is I'm going to go to my media pool and bring in this hand here. I'm just going to quickly name that hand. Make sure I connect it to a transform node and connect it here. Yes, you can see that. Now go to the transform node, make sure I bring it down here and size it to fit that one. Yes, you can just eyeball it. I think this size is okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the rectangle mask, connect it here. We're just going to make sure that we align the rectangle to this blue background, so something like this. Yeah, I think that this is okay. Now we can just increase. The next thing you want to do is get this line here. I'm going to get a background node. I want to create it on its own. Get another background node. Make this background color black and get a polygon mask. Connect this one here and connect this one here. Select the polygon. Click here, hold down shift and click somewhere around here. Remove this animation, uncheck solid and just turn on the border width somewhere around here. Make sure it's connected. Turn on the border width to about 0.07. Now we need to get an ellipse node. Connect this ellipse to here and we are going to bring this, then we're just going to create expression at width and connect the width to the height. And we're just going to bring it down. With that, I think we can start animating this thing now. What we're going to do, we are going to animate this entire text on this scene, and you're going to carry it over to the rest of the scenes because they're basically the same animation. So let's start. If you look at this to be, it's an opacity animation for word by word. If you watch one of my videos, you know how to animate this, but let's just do it one more time. Come to this text, Control C and Control Shift V. You paste an instance of this text. Go to the instance, you're going to go to shading. In the first element, you're going to de-instance that one and uncheck that. You can take that one to the viewer so I see what you're doing. Then go to the fit element, de-instance the fit elements and check that. You see it becomes white. You're going to change the appearance to this box. You're going to change it from character to word. It appears like that. You're going to take down the extend horizontal till you see that these words have been separated. You see a line, you see a line. Good. That's all for that one. Now you're going to go back to this text and you're going to select follower. Now a follower modifier has been opened. You're going to go to shading. Now come to the feed element and make sure you check the feed element. You're going to get the output of the instance and connect it to the mask section of the original text node. Let's go back to viewing that. Now if you do that, we have the same text. What we have to do is we're just going to look for where it starts animating somewhere. Good. Frame 15, you're going to keyframe the opacity and go to where to it's fully opaque. Somewhere around frame 19, you're going to keyframe it again. Now go to the first keyframe and take it down to 0. We can then go back to the timing and make sure try to take up the timing. If I just take it up a little bit so that you see, you can use a delay of 1.75. I think that is okay. Now you can take the text, this one to spline, zoom to fit, select all, ease out, cubic. Now just below that we have this new text which is animating, like here. Go to this text, I'm going to go to shading. If you look at it from all of these elements, you're going to see that element 4 is called blue border. So what do? We are going to check that, and if you check that, you already see that you have something like that. Now come down here, you're going to see character, change it to what it appears like this. But if you look at this one, the corners are kind of like faded, like it has like something like a soft edge. What we're going to do is come down to this one and you bring up the softness x and y. That now we need to reduce, that one is too big, we need to reduce it. So we're going to come to this size down here and take down the size just a little bit. Good. Now you have the same thing for you. In order for you then to animate this one like this, you see that there's a rectangle, so you're going to get a rectangle mask and just bring it here, bring the rectangle mask here, make sure you size it like that and connect it here. So let's go to where it kind of starts. Go to frame 26, keyframe the center x and y in the rectangle and go to frame 40, keyframe it again. So frame 40 is fully visible. Go to frame 25 and just take it out of the thing like that, and just bring up the soft edge just a little bit. Now if you kind of check that out, it appears like that. So we are going to take this rectangle to spline, zoom to fit, select all, and tease out cubic. I don't think that one does not work. We're just going to maybe arrange it like that. And if yeah, I think that that's better. Now, so next thing is this one, revolution. This is the size of the text. This is the position X and Y. So, and you have to duplicate it because there is one here and there's one here. What we're just going to do is go to the duplicate and we're going to take the X value just down and to somewhere where it touches the rectangle, the blue rectangle. Now that's it. And we're just going to go to the merge node and take the merge node blend value down a lot, somewhere around 0.15. You don't have to see it, but I can see it. If you look at the clip I've linked in the description, you will see it. Now what we need to do is, I think that then we need to check out the animation. Just an opacity animation, let's say keyframe frame 40 and keyframe frame 45. Now at frame 40, take it down to 0. It's just going to appear like that. I think that's the animation there. You can't really see it well. So for this revolution text, you see that it starts around frame 35. It's a follower modifier but on a word by word level. So this is the text. You can copy the size, you can copy the tracking. This is the layout, and it is rotated 90 degrees. So we're going to go to where it starts, somewhere around frame 35. Yes. So what I'm going to do is go to the text, hit follower, and you can turn on the delay just a little bit so that I can see what I'm doing. Now go to frame 35, keyframe the opacity, go to maybe where R is fully visible, maybe around frame 38, keyframe the opacity again, go to down to the first one, take it down to 0. Now you just need to come back to the delay and try to play with the delay. Let me just zoom that in so that you see what I'm doing. If you take the delay up here, somewhere around here, yes, I think a delay of 1.38 will work. So go to spline, zoom to fit, select all, and you can hit S. If we go down here, you see that this text, we have to maybe kind of align it. It's not well placed here. If I zoom that in, you're going to see here the text is not well placed. This is the text here. We're just going to come down to this horizontal anchor and hit this one so that it becomes left aligned like this, and then I'm going to just take this thing to the side like this. I think we might want to reduce the size again. You can use this size 0.0365. I think that this one works for us to animate this polygon. Let's go to frame 20, go to the polygon and keyframe the length. Go to frame 40, keyframe the length again. Go back to the first one and take it down to 0. Select the polygon, go to spline, zoom to fit, and ease out cubic. So for the ellipse mask, go to frame 25, keyframe the height, and go to frame 40, keyframe the height again. Go back to frame 25 and take the height down to 0. And you can take the ellipse to spline, zoom to fit, select all, and yes, we have animated all of that. What is left is this hand here, and the hand animation starts around, let's say, frame 10. Let's go to the hand, go to the transform node, keyframe the center x and y at frame 10, and go to maybe go to frame 45 where it's fully in place. Keyframe it again, go back to frame 10 and take it out, disappears entirely. Good. Now let's try to look for which animation is going to work. So I'm just going to zoom to fit. Yeah, I think this one works. Now we're done with all this animation on this first scene. So I'm just going to close this one. What we're going to do is we're going to make this 3D in order to get this zoom in that you see here. Yes, you can use a transform node, but I'm going to make it 3D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an image plane 3D, and I'm going to add a camera 3D. It's going to add this mesh 3D, and I'm going to search for a renderer 3D. So we're just going to merge that over here. Look at it here, you won't see anything. But if we take the merge 3D, you're going to see that you see that the camera and the image plane are on the same plane. But if we select the camera and take the camera backwards, you see that it starts showing here. So what we're going to do is go to the Z value and take the Z value backwards until we are on the same place that we were. So you can change your camera translation Z to 5.3. So let's go back to this one. Yeah, we still have that. So we're going to keyframe the Z value at frame 50 and go back to frame 0, keyframe it again. I think, yeah, if you look at it, the animation stops around frame 50. Go back to frame 0. You're going to take this Z value all the way down till you don't see anything. If you look at it, there's an opacity animation for this rectangle. Come to the image plane and go to materials. You see opacity here. We're going to keyframe the opacity here, and somewhere to where it is around, let's say frame 10, keyframe it again. Go back to this first one, take it down to 0. Now if you play that, you're going to see, yes, that's it. And for the final thing, let's take the camera into spline. So we're done with that one. I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to select all of these and shift space, search for underlay. Let's go to the second scene. I think this one is quite good now. So we're going to have to build the next scene, and if you look at it, you have this like a polygon from here that transition from the first scene to the second scene. This is it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, control C this one, come to somewhere around here, control V, and I'm going to connect it here. Let me just go down here. You're going to see that a new one has been added. So don't move the polygon, you're going to move the merge node. So I'm going to just make sure this rotation is 90 degrees. All right, now if we come here and add a transform node, see that we take it up, it grows the same way. What we simply have to do is, let me remove this transform, we'll add a new one. What we simply have to do is look for where the animation starts around frame 58. I'm going to select the polygon mask, go to keyframes, zoom to fit. I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to move it to frame 58. Yes, the rotation has to be negative 90 degrees. So you come to this merge node and add a negative sign here. So I'm just going to, let me just quickly get it to place, and I'm going to show you. If you try to play it, yeah, yes. So this is how you should rotate your merge node by 90 degrees, and these are your center X and Y values. So let's continue. So I'm just going to come up here and build this next scene here. So I'm going to go to maybe frame 100 where everything is in place. I'm going to get a background node. Let's start from the blue ellipse behind. Get another background node and get an ellipse mask, connect the ellipse to the background and this background to this one. Make sure I'm viewing that here. Now let me just reduce it, reduce the size to fit. I'm going to take the background color to this blue color here. Good. Now in the ellipse mask, no, not this back, I'm going to take this background color to this blue background here, this one. This is what we want. Now I'm just going to select this ellipse mask. I'm going to create expression at width and connect the width to the height. Then I can size it up or down, just arrange it to make sure that I get the, I think this size is okay. Now I'm going to get this text. This in this is the exact same thing as this one to be a, so I'm just going to control C this one, control C, and I'm going to control V here, connect this here and make sure you're viewing that here. So you're just going to come here and change this text to in this. I'm just going to change the layout here. And finally, let's bring in this man's image here. So that's the image here. I'm just going to name that one city. Good. Connect that here. I'm just going to maybe add something like a color corrector, that one, and I'm just going to bring it to the side. I think that's better. Now after the color corrector, I'm going to add drop shadow. I'm going to bring down the blur, just bring down these things to somewhere around here. It don't need to be too much. I think this one is better. So after I drop shadow, I'm going to add a transform node and I'm just going to bring it down, yes, somewhere around here. Now let me just explain what I've done here. I've added this one which is in this, and this text is history. This one is off. You see the size is bigger. So as I'm going through, you're going to make sure that you look at the size. This is video. You're going to look for the Helvetica font Newer. This is the font that I use to get this white outline. And maybe we can take down the blend. We can take down the blend value just a little bit here, somewhere around there. Do the same thing for this one. Take down the blend value somewhere around there. The next one is this one, video editing software. This is the size tracking and this is the position X and Y. So you just get them to this position. Now this film, you have two of them. You have one here and you have one here. Since it's the same image and you don't need to do anything, I just get the output, connect to the first merge. These are the parameters, the position and the angle. I brought it to this angle. Now you have that. Then I get the output, connect it to another merge node. It's going to create this one here. So that's what I've done. Let's animate all of this. If you go back to where we need to start our animation, you see that this one is the same thing, opacity animation. Select this text and go to the keyframes tab. Now use highlight this one. We're just going to try to move this. See, it has this same effect. Let's go maybe good somewhere around frame 65. Let's go to frame 65 and see if we can get that effect. Good. I think here let's try that one and see what happens. So this one finally I've gotten a delay value of 3.41, and I've just taken this first keyframe back to frame 48 and this one at frame 68. Now the next thing is, we have done this one before. This history text is an opacity animation but on a word by word level. So it starts around frame 55. You're going to hit here, click follower, go to this modifier. You can turn on this one and go to shading. You're going to keyframe this value here and go to where H is fully opaque. That's here. Go back to the first one, take it down to 0. Now you can go to somewhere around here and go to timing and make sure that only H is visible. Now the next one is this off. If you look at off, it's like a flicker animation of this text. Yeah, because one comes in and the other one comes in later. So what we're going to do, right click again, follower, go to the modifier. Yes, we're going to, let's go to where it starts, keyframe the opacity. I go like 2 frames forward, keyframe the opacity again, go 2 frames forward, it's frame 77, go to frame 79, keyframe it again and go to frame 81, keyframe it again. We can go back to the first one, go to the first keyframe, take the opacity down to 0. Go to the next one, the opacity is at 1. Go to the next one, take the opacity down to 0. Now we have that. The animation starts at frame 71, so I just need to take this back to 71. Made a mistake, sorry about that. That's it there. So it's going to appear like this. If you have a delay value of 2.36, it's going to appear like this, but you can come to this automatic and change it from right to left, or it's going to appear. And so we just need to go to spline, zoom to fit, select all again, and hit S. I think we have, yes, we have that flicker effect. Good. I think we forgot something, because if you look at it, there is, you see that ellipse is increasing in size, so we have to keyframe that size. So I'm just going to go to somewhere around frame 55, keyframe the height, and maybe go to frame 85, keyframe it again, go back to the first one, take it down to 0. Now go to spline, select this, and select all these out, cubic. Next thing you want to do is create the next thing, which is this timer. I'm just going to go to where it is at the center, maybe somewhere around frame 135. I'm going to get a background node. I'm just going to make sure I bring all of this thing, and we continue. And I'm going to bring our watch into our workspace, and just going to quickly name that, connect it here, make sure I'm viewing that. You see that it's too small. Add a transform node and increase the size somewhere around there. So what we need to do is, let's animate all of this. So this is this text up here, and this is the center X and Y. This is the size, the line spacing, all of that. And this one is the next one. This is the position, rising. Now for this one, it has an opacity animation from around frame 120. So we're going to go to the merge node at frame 120, keyframe the blend value, and go to somewhere around frame 105, keyframe the blend value again, and take it down to 0. The next one is of a new era. I think it starts around. So we're just going to go to this text. I've just copied the text from down there, a new era. Then we're going to go to modifier, and what we have to do is arrange this. But before that, we're going to go to keyframes and make sure we open this up and select this, move it to frame 113, so that it starts from there. Good, starts from frame 113, and close that now, and let's go to somewhere so that we can arrange the delay. Okay, somewhere around here, and then I'm just going to, maybe, yes, I think this one works. You can use a delay of 2.92. I think it's okay. Yeah, good. You can just come here to this one, as it doesn't really matter for me. And we have this other scene, so I'm just going to select all of these and shift space underline. From here on, it's basically the same thing. I'm just going to, so for this scene, what I'm going to do is get a background node and then get this text. Let's see what's happening. It's a word by word animation, so the same thing. I'm going to copy this one, Control C. I'm going to bring it here, Control V. I'm going to connect it here. Yes, I think with that, everything is done. So this text, I also copied it from what we have done before. So I'm just going to come to delay, look for where the text starts its animation, which is somewhere. Okay, that's it. Maybe frame 140. So I'm going to go to frame 140, go to the keyframes tab, make sure you open this up, select both of these, go to frame 140. Next thing I want to do is try to change that delay, and go to somewhere, going is halfway there. I'm just going to make sure I reduce the delay. Yes, I think it works. Now this one is the same thing. I copied the text from below. You remember the history text. This is the delay. So what I'm going to do is, it starts around frame, good, yes, frame 152. I'm going to go to the keyframes tab, same thing, open this up, make sure I move this to frame 152. From here, it's basically a repetition of this same thing. So I'm just make sure to reduce the delay and bring E into view. I think it's okay now. This is it. Cool. With that, there's no other animation, and that is it. Yeah, that is it. So I'm just going to do this one again. All right, So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from down and connect all of these. So I'm going to get a transform node to this one, connect it here. Let me just connect all of it, and then we will, I think if we look at it for a moment, see everything is in place like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hide this one, so we're left with this one. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to come to where it starts, okay, from around here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one opacity up, and I'm going to get a transform node between these two. Get a transform node here. It starts moving around frame 50, so we're going to go to frame 50, keyframe the center X and Y, and we're going to go to where the other one is fully in place, which is around frame 100. Keyframe the position X and Y again. Now you're going to, let's just hide this for now so that we see only this one. So you're going to go to this transform node. Let me bring it down. Go to this transform node. You're going to take it at frame 100. The second keyframe, you're going to take it all the way up to somewhere around here. Now what you want to do is use this transform, which it's connected, because if we view that this is the scene, now we're just going to make sure that we bring this scene back to this position. So now I'm going to enable this, and you see that everything is up there. So what we're going to do is come to this transform, which is, for me, is transform 6, and I'm going to bring it down. You see that it's this one and this one, they're out of place. You can just arrange that just a little bit. And so this is basically all you need to do. I think that is fine now. So we're going to ease out cubic, all that. Now the next thing, I think it starts from frame 100. Good. We're going to get another transform node. For me, it's transform number 10 from frame keyframe frame 100, and you're going to go to maybe frame 135, keyframe it again. Now at frame 135, you're just going to move the X value to the side like this. If you have done that, we can enable this one. See that it's out of this screen. Now we have to come to this transform node here and take it back to where it was. Now we need another transform node here, and if we look at the movement, start from frame 135. At frame 135, you're going to keyframe the center X and Y, go to where it's, I think, frame 180. We're going to keyframe it again. We can enable this one, and you see that it's up there. So what do? We're going to come to this one, come to the transform node, and take it all the way down. Yes, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have gotten the first part, and that is basically the same animation. Because if I go to this edit page and you continue from here, this is 3D, which we started with 3D. So this is it. So you're just going to get another. Yeah, now there's a problem. We haven't eased out cubic, so let's go. I've forgotten to. So I'm just going to take this transform node. I'm just going to select this one, hold down control, select this one, go to spline, select all, and ease out cubic. Yes, and if I go, yes, it's basically, yes, almost the same thing. You can just play with the transform node, and you get the same thing. So if you have gotten value out of this video, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. I think from here it's basically the same thing. Like from here, it's a 3D scene, which is you take another fusion composition, and as you can see here, I have all the images you need to create that. So make sure to use the images, and if you have any problem, make sure, let me know in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.